Great to see you guys. I mean, happy fight week. Hope it's all going well. It's obviously a big one, a very exciting time for both of you guys. Very exciting story that you have unfolding for the MMA world to see. So, I mean, obviously, before we get to that, I want to start with the beginning. How did you guys meet each other? When did you get together? Give me a little bit of the background here. I've heard a little bit throughout just some of the Oktagon promotional material, but I got to hear each of your perspectives, of course.
Ooh, we don't really have an agreed upon story,
Okay.
We haven't given the sanitized version,
Yeah.
So the reality is just like we were around the gym for ages together, and at first I really didn't like her at all. She was very Eastern and stoic and just didn't talk.
Adam, you like me all the time. I don't like you.
I genuinely didn't.
No, I don't like you.
No, I smashed her one time when we were rolling. She came over, she asked me for a round, and I'm a big guy, so pretty rare girls ask me for a round. And I just like rolled with her really technically, put her in a couple of different leg locks, like really gentle, really whatever. And she just got up and left, didn't even say like thanks or anything, just like walked away. I was like, what a bitch.
I was sad,
Yeah. So for about like a year after that, we basically didn't talk much. But then I saw her sparring a lot. She was like really legit in her sparring. And her and this other girl, Sinead Kavanagh, used to spar like ridiculously hard. So it wasn't like girls sparring, it was like they'd be full on leathering each other. It was like a fight every time. And afterwards they'd be like laughing, hugging each other, like having a bit of fun. I was like, maybe she's not too bad actually.
I was thinking she's sick like I am, right?
So then another time, like she was in the strength and conditioning area with us, and like all the other girls had organized training and hadn't invited her. And she's like, why do you think those bitches didn't invite me? I was like, because you're better than them. She's like, yeah, that's what it is. I was like, yeah, I like her attitude. From there, it was just kind of a slow burn. And we kind of, one of the days then, she says, I asked to collect her from a jiu-jitsu tournament, but I think she asked me to collect her from a jiu-jitsu tournament.
No, you asked me.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense. I would ask to collect you, But anyway, so I ended up collecting her from a jiu-jitsu tournament, and that was kind of our first date, I suppose. We just went somewhere and got a bit of food, and yeah, grew from there, basically.
Very nice. So how long ago was that then?
That was actually late 22, 23.
Okay.
Sorry, mid to late 23, like September 2023, I think.
Okay, all right.
And like she moved back to the Czech Republic for a while. So we weren't like fully together. We were kind of just seeing it. She moved back to Czech Republic, and then she came back December 25 this year, like November 25. Yeah. So from November 25, we've been like fairly consistent.
Yeah. Man, I'm not a long distance person myself, and fighter lives in general, even if you guys were like in the same countries, could be, tricky. Like, is it difficult to manage in that regard? Like,
no, like since then it's been really easy actually, and it's kind of like been a bit weirdly, like everything's kind of just come together perfectly in a way of like we're ending up fighting on the same card, we're fighting for titles on the same night, it's huge fights for both of us, and it's all kind of had a weird like synergy to it where like it's just slotted into place. So like it's been an easy time. Really, like we've been know each other pretty well, if you know what I mean. Like even though now we're like fully together and we're living together most of the time, we're pretty comfortable with each other, and it's kind of just the mundane stuff, like spending a Saturday together. We're pretty good like that.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, so it's like it's weirdly convenient. And I know that's never a good thing for love, but like the two of us have just found each other, like being like, wow, this is actually way easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah, if it works, man. So that's awesome to hear. Very glad for you guys. And I got to ask you then, I got to quiz you. Do you remember that first place you went to get food at? What you did the test?
It was like a Japanese place or something, wasn't
it?
Yeah. Yeah, barely.
You've been back since?
Don't know if we have we?
Oh, that's amazing.
What was steak? You don't remember?
Not really.
No?
No.
We had steak. You don't remember?
We had steak.
Yes.
In a Japanese restaurant.
If your house is Japanese restaurant.
Oh, so yeah, but that was after.
No, it was first time.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Too many memories have been made since then. Yeah. My goodness. And one coming up, of course. So I got to ask you guys too, like from each of your perspectives, like what was your initial reaction to this opportunity? I'm going to assume that like you guys didn't get fight offers at the exact same time. Like kind of take me through how we even got to this point of, you know, landing on this weekend.
Will I start?
Yeah. Either one of you guys.
So it looked like she was going to be lined up to fight this girl Szabova for a long time, and we assumed that would be in Stranica because it's the 10-year anniversary and it's a big fight. And then I was having a little bit of difficulty negotiating my contract, and it was looking like I might leave. And then I got a really good offer from them, so I stayed. And what they wanted to do was to have me fight 2 fights in a short space of time, so Berlin and then this one. And I got the offer for this first. So I knew that I would be on this Stranica card, and I assumed from the moment I saw that, we're probably going to end up on the same card there. Now her fight wasn't fully booked, but it just looked like it was going to go that way. So we've known probably for about 3-4 months that this was coming. But then it was because of the way the fight worked out that I fought in Berlin. It's only in the last like 6 weeks we've really been like, okay, this is 100%. Like, because for her it's been like a long prep for this one. For me, it's kind of been like my focus was the heavyweight fight, and then it was like, okay, cool, we got to go and do this really. Like, and since then, it's been the two of us in camp together doing the same stuff, like, you know, preparing for fighting on the same night.
So yeah, Lucie, what was your reaction to things? Like, were you excited? Was it crazy? Just walk me from your perspective.
Yeah, this was like very nice. We can fight together. And I was very excited about this because this is not very often like people like from relationship fight same night for bouts also. So this is very great, and I can't wait. And will be nice like preparing for this fight together. Like I don't know, we don't have like special plan like if we will be together in the room, how we make weight cut. So, but I think it will be easy.
Yeah, and I mean, Lucie, you've been boxing this year, so like, were you planning to box throughout the year? Like, what was kind of when you started this year? I guess was this ever something you imagined would be happening? Was your plan to box throughout the whole year? Kind of tell me from that angle.
I was boxing because I was injured with my knee, and I can't do other things long time. So I want to stay like busy, and this was why I actually start competing boxing. And my plan in future is like continue, but now I'm more preparing for MMA because here it's like big thing like belt. So this is very important for me right now.
Yeah, you'll definitely be a lot busier as a defending champion if you get the belt. So there is that to worry about. And yeah, I mean, you guys, what the first time you fought was Oktagon 65, right? Is that the only time before this? Did you enjoy that experience? What were the pros and cons? Tell me about looking back at the first one.
So yeah, we kind of got to do this before, but in a different setting because like she had moved back to Czech Republic.
I was more nervous from this. I don't feel like very comfortable like we are like around because it was too much pressure for me. But now I feel different. I feel more excited, and now I feel like now will be different.
It's kind of really different circumstances going into this one because before the last fight, her brother Pa died, and her opponent, the girl she's supposed to fight, like on Saturday, she pulled out on like the Wednesday fight week, and it was just a really daunting camp for her. So like we were still in contact, but we weren't together at that point because she had moved home. She was like training in Poland most of the time at that stage. So she rang me and said like, I've got a Hollander fight, which was the last girl she fought, and she's like, I've got the offer for that, and it was on 3 days notice, and I was like, fucking yeah, go for it. She was like, yeah, I think I'll go for it as well. Whereas this one, she's had a long time to prepare for Szabova. Yeah, I'd like as well. There's a lot to this that like I think doesn't really get shown by Oktagon.
Yeah.
The fact of like she's come off 2 wins, and like her whole place are really giving her a bit of crap. Especially like we went to Portugal on holidays after her fight in January, and like some of the stuff people were talking about her, telling her to retire, telling her she was shit, telling her she didn't deserve a title fight with Pudlova. And like I saw how much that hurt her at the time, and then I saw the wave of like, I was just like, why would you shit? What these people, their opinion doesn't. And I feel like she's really bought into that attitude, and that's been really cool to watch. To be like, yeah, fuck you, I don't like watch what I do, you know. So I think she's developed a really powerful mindset too, which has been kind of like inspiring to watch grow. And like, I'm really excited. Like, I'm obviously ridiculously nervous for both of us in a way because there's so much on the line. But I'm probably more emotionally invested in her fight in a way.
That's usually how it goes. I've heard from talking to the many fighter couples I have throughout the years. It's more of more nerves for your partner, or even training partners, right? Everybody seems to be more. It's because the uncontrollable, I imagine, right?
Yeah, I can't control
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's like different. I feel like more nervous because we are both here.
Yeah. So have you guys had to make or thought about making any big changes, specifically going from that last experience to this one? Or is it just like you have the knowledge of going through that experience the first time now?
So I suppose the first time I was after her.
Yeah.
This time she's
Yeah,
after
yeah.
me. I didn't like knowing that she was fighting while I was warming up.
Mm.
And I kept wanting, because I was like in the backstage of the O2, the green room, where I could have gone down and watched it. And I thought, no, I'm just walking out completely. I'm going to find out the result after the fight. And then her corner guy, Philip, walked into the room like this one of my corner guys, and he looked really happy. So before we walked out, I was like, she won. Brilliant. You know?
Because he's smart, he don't want to make you like sad.
Yeah. So maybe he was
Or
just
maybe he was happy.
Yeah.
So I walked out, and like I did, like after the fight, you know, I got like, my fight went really well, thank God. I got my hand raised, and then like Tommy, my corner guy, I knew that he knew the result, and I was like, she won, didn't she? And he was like, no, she lost a split decision. And it was a crazy close fight, the one she was in. You know, she thought she was 2 rounds up going into the fifth. Her corner told her she was 2 rounds up going into the fifth. But that really put a different spin on the night. I'm glad I didn't know before.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that I thought she won while I was fighting. So this time for her, I would say the best thing is to just like not know what's happening, lock yourself in the dressing room, you know, do your warm-up, do everything, walk out, be tunnel visioned. And if I've done the job, you'll see me at the walkout with the belts. And I'll be like, okay, let's go. You know, get the buzz from that, I suppose.
Yeah, totally. I completely understand that thought, man. But all right, so are you going to corner her then, Will, since you'll be having your fight done, depending on how it goes, I guess?
Yeah, look, we can't make any plans yet because it's MMA. It's crazy sport.
Maybe he jump inside, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe. So, like, look, if it all goes really well, I'd obviously love to help in any way I can. But she has a corner team already. Like, I'm going to be massively pumped for that, obviously. Yeah. But to me, it's like, come out of my thing unscathed. You know, obviously I'll have to head backstage for a second, do a medical, but there'll be 15, 20 minutes in between the fights, and there'll be, you know, the whole walkout and then the announcements and all that. So I would hope that I can be back out there by the time the fight starts. And if I can get up close to the cage and say anything helpful or do anything helpful, yeah, I'd love to be part of that. But let's see how it all goes, you know. I don't think she should be relying on me to be there. But if I'm there, bonus, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, set the bar, the expectation. He won't be there, so then it's a good surprise if he is.
Yeah, nice.
And I believe, I think I saw you say, Will, that the main event was determined by a fan vote, right? Is that kind of went? So Lucie, I mean, what was your reaction to that? Like, how happy are you with getting the main event spot? Obviously, it's a big deal, you know, whenever we see a women's fight, you know, get the shine. At least I love to see it myself. So, like, for you, what are all the emotions going into being like the center stage, the last piece here, title fight, all the things around it, and then you get to be the last one out there?
Actually, I was surprised because it's not normal thing. Like, usually men go like last fight, and I think it's good. And also I feel like this is big opportunity for women MMA, like show also we are good. But I think like for me will be maybe also easier go first. So I will be also happy in this situation. So we'll have better situation.
Well, but both you guys are like, yeah, it would be nice to be the first one.
I was pretty happy when I wasn't main event for this one.
The fans did you solid.
It was like,
It's the only time I would be happy to not be main event.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
It will be some other people. You will be like, what?
Yeah. If it was some other women's fight, I'd be like, wait a minute. Let's get them both counted. I'm gonna do a Trump call election fraud.
Yes.
Maybe you are just scared I stop cook, right?
Well, if you're main event,
Stop cleaning. If you say something bad about me,
all 5 times in 3 years that she's cooked,
5 times.
he always said this.
Oh my goodness. Man, I mean, Will, for you though, it's been quite a journey you've had, man, just going through your career to get to this point now, and like a great run that you're on, obviously. And I'm just curious, like, from the emotional connection, this is probably a stupid question to ask, but like, is this the most you've been connected to an experience like for one of your fights because of, the elements that we have here?
Yeah. I've tried to sum this up a few times, but like fighting is crazy in the first place, and every fight is a huge challenge, and it's a pretty life-changing experience, because if you lose one, it's a massive one. Like, and all of my fights recently I've been main eventing in stadiums and really passionate crowds. It's been incredible, but like, it did, like, even coming up to the Irish fight, I did an interview with a guy in Ireland where I was like 5 days out from the fight, and I was like, yeah, it all feels really routine. This fight never felt like that. As soon as I got over the Irish fight and did Berlin and came home, it was like, cool, we've got this. And this just had the different significance, obviously, because we're both fighting. And now the fact that it's Murdoch that I'm going to fight, who's, probably the most naturally talented fighter in Oktagon, it's class. It's like I get to show the world the level I'm at on one night, and my girlfriend gets to go in and show, hey, this girl that you all think is unbelievable, I'm going to go in and smash her. And like, I just have this, like, I keep visualizing the two of us together in the cage with the belts, and like making that a reality. Feeling that, seeing that in my mind, and to know that, like, hey, there's a lot we have to go through to get to that point. But I just feel like we've done what it takes, we're prepared, and sport can go anyway. But like, we've set ourselves up well for success. So there's a lot riding on Saturday. And it could be the best day of our lives, or it could be like, okay, we've got to go and learn some stuff. And either way, I don't think either of us are ever going to be like in a bad position in our careers after this. But like, I think it would be beautiful if we could make this a reality, of like the two of us in the cage with the belts.
Mm-hmm.
It's I know it's a little bit corny, but fuck me, that would be some experience. That would
Hell
be
yeah.
class. And I've had some amazing experiences fighting recently, and like some really surreal moments. But this one would probably put the cherry on top of it all,
Well, man, it's fascinating. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Lucy.
You're cute.
I was going to say, it's fascinating to me because I don't remember what it was in, but I heard you say, Will, that it kind of feels like you guys are defending your relationship a little bit. And I was just curious if you could like explain that thought a bit to me, because it was just kind of the one line you dropped. So like, what do you mean by that?
Well, from her point of view, this Szabova fight, her own fan base of like, she was the first Czech woman in the UFC.
Yeah.
She had a huge fan base over there. She's always been a really game fighter her whole career. I think people in Czech Republic have sort of not forgotten about that, but maybe they've like began to ignore that a bit and like not acknowledge that actually she's gone out and fought the toughest girls at every opportunity possible, taken very short notice fights, taken hard opponents. Never, like, I don't think you've ever turned down a fight, have you?
No, just when I have injured my knee, when I can't walk.
Yeah, there's the Boba one, but that was like, she tore like fucking 2 ligaments.
So that's a
really.
reasonable.
Yeah. Literally, had to go to the
And
hospital.
still I was thinking about this
You're
fight.
like, maybe I can do
it.
Yeah, actually, she was ringing me up 3 days later, and I was like, no, you've ruptured ligaments. You can't fight. Like,
Please don't.
It's not actually that painful. And I was like, and she's like, it's only like it's 6 weeks. I could be grand. It's like, no, you're not going to
That's
be okay.
incredible.
I was also talk with Andre, and he just said no.
Yeah.
After I was talking with you, and I was thinking maybe, and you just no.
Yeah. And like, I think she deserves a hell of a lot more respect for the type of fighter she's been throughout her career and who she is. And I think this is their opportunity to go in and be like, yeah, I've always been this good, you know. And the girl that they're like putting her against Sabova, they've built her as like this perfect protege, this
Right.
perfect everything. And you know, I've come out with this phrase a couple of times that like perfect is always a lie, and it is. There's no such thing,
Yeah.
you know. As in, we're all flawed human beings in different ways, and I think when you start to sell that image, it has to become false. And like, I don't want to get too personal about it, but like knowing a bit about the girl, you're like, well, this is a complete lie, and your character doesn't like your character around this doesn't reflect this at all. So I want to see Lucie smash her so badly, and maybe that's the emotional side of me.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was down on that holiday in Portugal when I was watching her read these messages and think like I've given my whole life to this thing, and you're telling me I'm shit and I should retire just because you think some other girl's better than me. But then, like even the people who message that stuff, obviously, you know, they're people with not much to do in their lives. They're pathetic humans. But like, I'll be honest, when it comes to like a girl who's clearly in a vulnerable position, it's a bit like more fucked up because if somebody tells me, hey, you're a fucking dickhead, you're a loser, you're shit at fighting, it's like, cool, whatever, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in that sense, like, I suppose to me, I've kind of proved my own reality to myself, whereas like she's in a place where like all of her home fans are questioning her, and getting the chance to go in and put that right is huge. And like getting the chance to just show, no, I've always been this good. I'm at this level. I've done so much work over the years. This demands respect. Like, and from my own point of view, I suppose it's being a bit of a megalomaniac to be like, right, I want to be known as the best guy, and I've done that work to be the best guy in Oktagon. And right now, Makhman Mordov probably is the challenger to that. It's like between Mordov and Jocko, who the number 2 guy is. So beating those 2 guys is big for me. And Mordov stepped up to the plate on short notice, and he's coming up a weight class, so I have huge respect for that. You know, I have no personal issue with the guy. I think he's incredible. I think he's a phenomenal talent. You know, even if you look at him early in his career, you're like, wow, he could move really well. But I just don't think he's done the work I've done to be at the level that I'm at.
And Lucie, I'm kind of curious, like how you deal with like some of those criticisms because you've had a crazy ride of a career as well. And I mean, like, I will never forget your Aldana fight, which I think is one of the greatest of all time. And, you know, that was before you and Will even met, right? You probably didn't even see that fight until you met her. So, like, and that was way back in the day. Go back UFC runs and, you know, what you've done since then. Like, I mean, is it motivation for you? How do you deal with people kind of counting you out when you've shown that you can come back from, you know, so many things?
I feel like before I was like sad about this, but now start be like now it's not actually not that bad, but sometimes I have like time like when people criticize me too much, and now it's for me like normal things actually. For me it's like I don't feel like something it's something wrong, you know. I feel like yeah, this happened, but now I want to show them they not are right and they are wrong, and I want this is my biggest motivation right now, like show them like you think I'm that bad, I show you I'm not that bad, you know. This is my biggest thing in my head right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the pressure to deliver because of the story has got to be like good motivation, I imagine, because like it's kind of the more I'm thinking about it and talking to you guys here, it's kind of a movie a little bit, like how it could play out, right? Like, so,
Yeah, well, it's very good actor. It's always so nice. I always see how he talks somewhere, and I just like, wow, it's like too emotion, you know. It's
yeah,
very
yeah.
nice.
So like, is that there like for you too, Will? Like an extra pressure, I guess, and you know, of course, you always want to win. You never let yourself down, and all that. But I don't know. Just are you a guy who deals with pressure well in general, anyways?
I
Yeah,
like
look, like
pressure. I
fight,
love it. Pressure is good.
Hmm.
but like if you choose fighting as your lifestyle, you're going to have to deal with some very intense moments of
Yeah.
pressure. I think like if you didn't want to feel pressure, don't sign up for this stuff. I've gotten better at embracing it over the years because at first it is overwhelming at times. Whereas in the last couple of years, I've really enjoyed, like even when I went to the O2 the first time and I was walking out against Carlos and, you know, the night Lucie was fighting as well,
Mhm.
really genuinely enjoyed that walkout. Like the whole 20,000 people there booing me. And I was like, this is brilliant. Like what a buzz, you know, that everybody's this
Yeah,
most
this is
invested in
crazy.
my life. Like and I was genuinely really happy. So I suppose what other people perceive as pressure, I'm just like, wow, this is class. This is exciting. So yeah, there's an extra emotional weight with this one, definitely.
Mhm.
But that's something we've earned. You know, that's something that, like, as a fighter starting out in my career, I would have loved to have these moments 10 years ago. Or, you know, like maybe I wouldn't have been ready 10 years ago. But I'm really grateful for the fact that I've gotten here where there can be so much on the line in one night, where we can both fight for titles. And like, I don't know, like sport, it can break your heart or it can make your life, you know, and like I feel like we've done the work to make it like this is going to be a positive thing. This is going to be great. And if not, fuck it, we'll learn from it.
Yeah.
But we probably won't get another chance to do something this big together, you know. Unless we both whoop ass and we're fighting again at the end of the year together.
Oh, there you go.
You never know, I suppose. Never know where this will go. Even like it has been a bit like a movie. My whole time at Oktagon has been a bit like a movie. You know, I fought with a broken hand my first fight when I was thinking of retiring before the fight, you know, and then had to get surgery, came back, knocked a guy out in the stadium, called out the champ, got the fight with the champ at the end of the year, beat him, got an offer to move up within 8 weeks to heavyweight, did that, won a really tough fight against Tadef, and then knocked out the guy who was 7-1 in the UFC, and then just fought in the capital of Germany and knocked the guy out. And my brother plays my walkout music, and my parents were involved in my fighting, who were like previously really anti-MMA. It's been like a weird, like so many surreal moments that I wouldn't have, like, if you'd told me about this 4 or 5 years ago, I would have laughed at you and said, like, right, that's too corny. You know, life never works out like that.
Yeah.
And now we have another opportunity to do something like that on Saturday. So let's just keep following that path and see where this goes, because it's been incredible so far, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, beautifully said. It's really cool how it is formulated and gotten to this point. So it is really kind of crazy. And I mean, Lucie, for you, Will already mentioned, your opponent Szabova a little bit there. Like, you fought in so many great fighters throughout your career already. So like, where do you kind of rank her? Do you think the hype is justified? Like, how do you kind of feel about her as your challenge here in this moment?
I feel she's a good fighter, and I feel like my level is a little bit higher. I feel like my experience are just so good, and I just want to go for this fight and just want to enjoy the night, and I just want to show it, because if I decide to show it, I know it's inside, like this is inside. So I hope like I will be have good time, and I will be have like my mind tell me, okay, let's go for this, and now you can show it, you know. And if everything happens like right, I feel can be really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really kind of funny, just getting to chat with you guys here. Lucie, you kind of come off to me as one of those fighters who, such a kind person in regular everyday life, but then in the cage, she's kind of a different animal, right, Will?
Like, genuinely, I haven't seen her fight and like haven't watched her spar, because her sparring is like really intense as well. And then like spending time with her in the hole, it's like, wow, this is really different.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of admire how tough and vicious she is when shit hits the fan. And like, I think a lot of girls choose the easier path, and a lot of girls don't genuinely enjoy fighting. I think they like the attention. She's the opposite. She doesn't really look for the attention at all. She just wants to fight, and that, like, I suppose in my own way, that's probably one of the big reasons I was attracted to her originally. Like, because like most girls these days, it's about Instagram, it's about getting a following, it's about all this crap. Whereas like her life has always been like, how can I be a better fighter? How many training sessions should I do in a week to be better? Who do I have to train with to get better? And watching that is kind of like, it garners a respect, and it, like, I find it a little bit inspiring to see that in a way. But I think she's been faced with so many other factors outside of fighting that have like actually not given her the opportunity to be the best fighter she can be. And even now, like, it's promotionally set up against her. I thought maybe they wouldn't even give her this chance. That, the fact of like she's actually kind of.
I know they give me this chance because they think I'm broken, because it's game over.
She's
This is
old,
why I
she's
had this
not confident
chance.
anymore. So that's the reason she's getting this chance. It's all about building
Mistake, big
stamina.
mistake.
Yeah, and it's like brilliant. This is going to be like a fairy
Huge
tale story.
mistake.
It does make it way
Huge.
better.
It does, it really does.
So like, man, what does that double celebration look like, you guys? Whether it's like that night or after, you gonna do something fun? Like,
Yeah, we're gonna have a few drinks
Of
definitely. But, like,
course.
she can only have like
Yeah.
2 beers and she's already shit faced. So
I use every
we've
drug.
already discovered she basically has no tolerance.
Yeah.
that's incredible.
We were in Ostrava one night and there was like Oktagon events. They had like a really good VIP section, so there's free beer. So I just like went up, got her a beer, and she'd like had like 3/4 of the beer, and she was like already kind of like waving.
Didn't even finish it.
Are you serious? So like I think she had 2 beers. She was like properly out of it. I had to like start getting her waters. And, like,
That's amazing. Oh my goodness. Hey man, it saves you a lot of trouble then. Get it out
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
way. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. This is true. I'm a big alcoholic master.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and you run all the time, and you just say, no, she needs water. You need
Yeah.
water, and
Yeah.
I still, no, I
Yeah,
can
because
drink
someone
more.
like we were with 2 other Irish guys. They were bringing her beers as well, and I was like, no. Got more beer for her. Yeah. I was like, go and get her a water with you.
You were scared I would be sick everywhere, right?
Yeah, I was like, she's going to soon.
Oh my god, that's great. That's so good. Well, yeah, it's definitely fascinated by what could be the future celebrations then. But my goodness, like obviously I don't want to see
Will be great.
I don't want to see either of you guys.
Yeah, you
stop-
don't want to see this celebration.
I was gonna say, I don't want to see you guys stop fighting anytime soon.
I'll tell you what, like, when we both win, I'll take a video of me just holding her hair while she's getting
There
sick
we
in the
go.
toilet. You know, be like, this is the champ life.
Yeah, maybe after, but this will be after.
Yes, yeah, everything will be all good then. But yeah, I don't want you guys to retire anytime soon or
Okay.
anything. But like, Will, I think I saw that you said you declined a UFC offer before this fight, and I know you obviously said the thing about you were contemplating retirement around the Octagon time anyway. But like, is there a chance we're getting close to the end of the career for you? I mean, this would be a pretty great way if it goes all perfectly to say send
No,
off
I'm
and
not
all
planning that at all. I signed
Yeah.
a 6-fight deal back in March, so I fought 1 fight out of those. I have 5 fights left on that. After this one, 4 fights left on that deal. So I'm guaranteed 3 fights this year, guaranteed 3 fights in 2027 as well. I don't feel any older yet. Like, body's really good. Like, even cutting the weight this time, it's been easier than ever. As long as this continues, great. I'm going to keep going. Like, biology is obviously a real thing, and
Yeah.
nobody beats aging. So we'll see. But right now, I don't have any intention of retiring. And like, I know 3-4 years ago, the main thing was that it was like, I'm putting so much into this and I'm not getting anywhere. I don't feel like that now.
Right.
Like the chances of this happening while I was in Las Vegas with the broken hand after sparring Strickland, tiny. So like, I never saw that it could get, I felt like I'm a really good fighter. I can do big things if I get the opportunity, but it's like, well, how am I ever going to get the opportunity to? And I'm going to have to take this huge risk even to kind of get an opportunity to do that. Does that even make sense? And I was 34 years older. I think I was just gone 35, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's only like 2 and a bit years ago. And it looked very bleak. And look where we are now. It's pretty crazy. Like, I'm a double champ in Europe's biggest organization. And like, I've beaten a lot of guys who are kind of making waves around the world. And I've an opportunity to beat Matt McMurdoch at the weekend. Like, I don't even think about retiring anymore. I'm just like, hey, whenever the wheels come off a little bit, and like whenever
Once you
things,
feel it.
yeah, but I haven't felt it yet, thank God.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, you guys got plenty of momentum and planning to carry it on into this great weekend. So, all right, you guys. Well, I think we can wrap it up there. I've taken plenty of you guys' time. It's been very, very fun. It's been great getting to meet you guys and chat and
Thank you.
get hyped for the weekend and this great magical story you guys have. Love is in the air. I'm here for it. So wishing you guys all the best. Hope it's a smooth next couple
you.
days. And then on the night, the nerves can be as calm as they can be. I'm sure they will be quite the opposite of that, though. But just appreciate you guys so much, and best of luck. Thank you for the time.
No, thank you, man, and thanks for doing the research. And
Thank you.
Yeah,
knowing it all
of course.
properly. Thank you.